could find us on Paranormal on Air all together. So, okay. World Ghost is live. All right. So I'm going to take that out. All right. So, I guess we'll start. I guess I'll start. Go ahead and, if everyone's listening to me, sharing. So let's see. I'm going to share it real quick to my. Oh, I think we lost. Are you still there?
I'm still here. No worries.
Oh man, that's horrible.
I'm used to radio.
Yeah, it's this is so like I'm trying to do. Can I get a little more? Oh, that's it. No slack, huh? No slack. All right. So let's begin the show while I'm sharing. Go ahead and tell us. How you got into the paranormal, and what happened, and a nice background of what exactly happened.
Okay, well, first of all, I live in Thunderbrae, Northwestern Ontario, Canada. I am, let's see, I've been always had abilities since I've been about 4 years old. Kind of asked them to have them turned off. I've had paranormal activity since I've been about 4. And I remember back to that night, and I'm going to be 54 in August. Anyways, what happened was, the house I'm living in, it was my ex-husband's house. And he grew up here. There were 3 quick successive owners before they owned the house, the family. Apparently no issues. And we bought the house from his parents. From the minute I moved in this house, it never felt like it was my house, and it wasn't my in-laws. They're lovely people. I still care about them to this day, even though we're not married anymore, their son and I. But I got the house in a divorce. And just before the divorce, it's a bit of a story, but there's a reason why I'm telling you this. I had hurt my back. I'm a registered nurse, and I wasn't able to go back to work.
Oh, wow.
And I was actually having to lay down most of the day. So I started making some jewelry and pet accessories things. When I was able to get out, I remember commenting to my ex-husband at the time that everywhere I went, people wanted to carry my jewelry. They wanted to carry everything. They didn't want any compensation. And at that time, it's about 15 years ago, The Secret had come out. And you just watched it. You said, well, the stuff that goes with The Secret, like maybe it's the universe or whatever.
Yeah.
Long story short, I had a dream that literally, I was 15 years ago. It feels like it was 20 minutes ago. And what happened was, there's a tree in my front yard, and there was a man sitting in my tree. And I always say I'm not a high-maintenance kind of girl. A very expensive suit, medium dark charcoal, pinstripe, super white, expensive shirt, black tie, slick back, short black hair, and same matching, very neatly groomed, full beard and goatee. But what I noticed as I looked in his face, it was a sickly white, and his eyes were flashing from black to red. And then he said, "Hey, Lorilei." He goes, "You see how well that little business of yours is going?" He said, "Well, that's nothing. I can give you anything your heart desires. All you have to do is agree to follow me."
So this
on radio, I won't say what I said in my dream, but I did not tell him very politely, but told him to get out of my dream, get out of my yard, and leave. And he said no, and I said, "Well, who are you?" He told me he was a demon, told me his name, and spelled it for me. And again, I told him not so politely in my dream to leave. And he said, "Oh, no," very sarcastically waving his finger at me. And he said, "Every time you see a crow or a raven, you're going to know who it is."
Oh, wow.
And I do work with the archangelic realm and in the light. I don't work in the dark. I called on Archangel Michael. There was a flash of silver, royal blue, and white. I woke up shaking, drenched in sweat, and crying. And I kid you not, from that night, that's when all hell broke loose in my house. I always say I never went looking for the paranormal. It found me. How we knew things got really bad. In the beginning, around this time, my ex and I had actually split up. And my common law partner I'm with now moved in shortly after. I've known him my whole life. And we've gotten together. And he moved in the house. But what we were noticing was, like, you'd be going out the door. Keys are always at the same place. There's a shelf there. You put your phone down beside it. You bend down to put your shoes on, stand up, the keys are gone.
Oh, wow.
You're tearing the house apart, trying to find the keys, thinking you're going crazy. You got to cancel whatever you're supposed to do. And then say maybe an hour later, you go back to go pick up the newspaper or the mail. There's your keys sitting exactly where you left them. When we knew we had a problem, though, it was a Monday night. It was a couple months after this started.
Mm-hmm.
I have this little cabinet that was hanging on the wall. It's been there for about 12 years. It was probably about 2 feet by 3 feet. It had a glass front on it. It was really lightweight wood, maybe weighed 5 pounds if you're lucky. But it had all my treasures from being a little girl. Things my grandparents had given me, all kinds of things that were irreplaceable. And our bedroom was down the basement. My 2 boys were upstairs sleeping. And all of a sudden, 11:30 at night, we hear this horrific crash. We come running up the stairs. My oldest son meets us in the kitchen, and we're all like, what the hell was that? We start looking around, and we see the cabinet from where it hung on the wall. It's now about 12 feet into the living room. The glass is smashed, but the hooks are still in the back of the cabinet, and the hooks are still in the wall. And as we start looking, the only thing we can surmise is it's kind of an open concept kitchen dining room, but they hung kind of on the back of the kitchen cupboards. I have pictures. It would be easier to see with the pictures. But what happened, we figured, it flew with such force off the wall that the left hook was yanked down, and you can't do it with your fingers. I still have the hooks in the wall.
So this thing is pretty much bolted
by 4 feet.
Bolted on.
Then cut. Pardon?
Oh, I said this thing's pretty much bolted on. Like you can't move this like it's not a flimsy type.
Next time we're talking, Rahkee, I'll show you on video camera.
Oh, okay.
Believe it. Anyways, it hit the wall, and then it was about 4 feet below where the counter was. My caller ID, my answering machine, and my portable phone looked like they'd been cut with a scalpel. So we figure it must have flown off the wall, hit to the left. So now you're adding another 4 feet on there. It had actually flown about 18 feet.
Oh, wow.
And the hooks are still in the wall, still in the back. We've had things my husband, or call my husband's common law partner, he's been thrown 15 feet. We've been bit, we've been burnt, we've been scratched, and we've had all kinds of things happen. And other people have experienced activity besides our family. So that's how I got involved, basically.
I remember, I was watching the video, and there was a psychic that came by.
Oh, so you did well. Okay, so we did talk about that. Yeah, so our story's been featured on Paranormal Survivor this year. What was the 4th season, episode 9? It's called Demonic Hauntings. Mm-hmm. They interviewed us for 6 hours. And then they spliced bits and pieces together. But everything we said on the camera was true, but they left a lot out of the story.
Right.
But, yes, there was a female psychic. I know who she is. She's the only person that has been to my house. I've not been able to have anybody else, as you've seen in the episode. We'll probably get to that, I guess.
Yeah.
But she did come. She refused to be part of the episode. So they instead changed the story up a bit and had a male psychic. But probably when you've seen the episode, I don't know if you noticed, Rahkee, but the woman in the recreation that was playing me, when they had the male psychic, who was really female in real life, I don't know if you noticed, but he was trying to deal with the activity, and then he ran out of the room and locked the door on me, kind of. So we had a good laugh over that.
Oh, my gosh.
Kind of like, you stay here and deal with it.
I just want to let everyone know on Facebook, if you can't hear the audio, you go to radiovegas.rocks right now and tune in. I actually, we're talking with Lorilei. She's on the line right now telling us her story. And if you have any questions, you could always message us in the comments section. So.
Oh yeah, cool.
So yeah, unfortunately, in the studio I'm at right now, it's not letting us have the audio on the video. But what I'm going to do later on is blend it in, and then I'll throw out the video with the audio put together of us chatting. So.
Cool.
So let's see where there's so much. There was so much. Okay, so the psychic ran out, And that
Well,
was...
that's what they showed on the show. What really happened was when she came, Dell, my partner, he
Okay.
kept getting mysteriously so ill. Doctors could not find out what was wrong with him. He was bedbound when she came.
Okay.
He was not able to come upstairs. She met me at the door, and where I live, there's only about 110,000 people, so everybody kind of knows each other. And I'd done some research on her. She'd been recommended by a friend, and I realized I knew her mom, and her mom had just passed away recently. So we kind of connected right away, but she did tell me, over her mom, I should say, but she did tell me all of her guides and who she works with had said, be prepared for the fight of your life. And I wish to God I had videotaped this. She went through my house. She did find 4 main entities in my house, and I didn't tell her about all of them because I wanted to see if she was the real deal. This was when I was first beginning all this. This has been going on for almost 11 years, you got to remember. So this is probably back about 7, 8 years ago. Anyways, she went into the upstairs, and when she walked past my youngest son's room, who has severe autism, she went, like, what's in there? We're going to save that till last. So she went through each room, she cleared it. And the interesting thing is, my oldest son, I won't call him by name because he prefers not to be involved in the story. That's why he wasn't in part of the Paranormal Survivor episode, and I respect that. We moved into this house when he was 15 months old. Ever since he has been able to speak, he has not been able to sleep in that room. I have, you know how parents check on their kids when they're little? There were times we would go in there, it'd be 4 or 5 times in a week. He'd be laying on his back as a 4-year-old covered in vomit. Didn't know he'd done it. I'd take the whole bed apart because it was a bunk bed. He eventually ended up just sleeping in a futon by my ex-husband and I's bed. So that room's empty to this day. So when the psychic went by that room, she said, "Oh, I found a little girl in here. She's got a ponytail. It's blonde. She's about 4 or 5 years old, and she's so angry. She's been trapped here for years and years and years." And I know you know this already, Rahkee, that's their favorite character they love to take is a little girl. So she said that she was able to cross her over. Then she went to what would have been my old bedroom. My son now sleeps in that bedroom. Like I said, where our bedroom's now downstairs. She went in there. She didn't find much. When she went into my youngest son's bedroom, the one she had commented on that she said, "Oh, I don't like what's in here." I kid you not. It was a warm summer day. There was not a cloud in the sky. When she went in there, she said, "I'm hearing drums." She goes, "That's my sign for something old." She goes, "He won't show me his face. He refuses to show me his face." And then she said, "I'm seeing fog burning." She goes, "I know fog doesn't burn." So I witnessed, she tried to cross over what was in there, and she was told that it couldn't be crossed. So I remember her words exactly. She said, "Then I humbly ask that it be dealt with compassion and love." But when that happened, I swear to God, the wind picked up all around the house. You could see the clouds going past the windows. There was no clouds before that. She passed out. Like, she literally passed out off of my son's bed. She had been sitting on it. She had tears just streaming down her face. My heart rate and hers, because I said to her, "Is your heart beating?" Like, for a good probably 4 or 5 hours afterwards. And again, like I said, I'm a nurse. My heart rate was like so high. It had to be like 170, 180 beats a minute. Normally a human's like 100, 140.
Yeah.
Then she found, like I said, all the 4 entities. But I'm going to be really honest with you. I think she was too much with the love and light. And I don't think she was prepared to deal with this with the recent death of her mother, because the activity only got worse.
You know what's so weird right now is that, like, I'm not sure if it's happening to you, Jay, but my headphones, I've never experienced my headphones like this one's acting
like it's going in and out.
Yeah, like it's going in and out. Like, have you ever had problems with the?
No, these are kicker, man. They're the best.
Well, I'm going to warn you guys,
headphones,
and Rahkee, I will not be surprised. I'm sitting in my most active part of my house.
Like, my headphone is lit, and I thought I don't know if we're able to, like, go back to what comes through the headphones, but I thought I heard
EVP?
yeah, an EVP through my
Yeah.
headphone right now.
Yeah, very bizarre.
It's
Well, no, you probably did because when I was
like
live
I'm
on
actually
my,
like feeling like a little like
no, when I used to do my
I'm,
radio show
I'm
live
feeling
on my
out
home
a
station,
little weird right now. Wow, I've never had
no,
that happen. Usually, I'm on an investigation, and I'm expecting it, right?
mhm.
But I swear I heard something come through my headphone right now. So it was weird. It
I'm
kind of
not
like
kidding, Rocky.
it
You will
went
like I said,
off.
when I did my nightly radio show, I used to get EVPs coming through all the time, and they're friends of mine that are even demonologists. One of them I was talking to, she's been doing it for 23 years on video. She even said to me, "Who the hell is that man standing behind you?" And I said, "What man?" And she even saw something. So believe me, of anybody that would be skeptical, she would be dealing with this kind of stuff. She's seen stuff. I sent you EVP. I don't do EVPs or ITC in my house,
Hmm.
but I sent you what came through on Jason Bland's show and Paranormal Soup when I've called in there. And that's just from the most active part of my house.
That is eerie. That is. It's really eerie. I guess someone that also runs Paranormal on Air, they just wrote. It said it's going in and out here too on this end too. So I don't know who
I
wrote
can try
that.
going upstairs and putting the Wi-Fi extender in. Sometimes that'll make a difference. And
No,
it's just
I don't
this
think
thing
it's
in my
I
house.
don't think it's the phone call. I just think because I everything sounds clear. So
Yeah,
that's
I've never
why.
had this happen with a phone call. It's usually the internet, but I'll try and bring it upstairs. I don't think it's going to make any difference.
No,
It's kind of
I
like
don't
in a
think that would.
column in my house.
I don't think it would affect our equipment. So it's.
No, it's probably what's at my house. Believe me, batteries have been drained. I'm on my 13th tire on my vehicle, and I don't drive it very
Yeah.
far. I didn't send you the pictures because I don't post these. Excuse me. My Dell, who I live with, has been bitten. And if you see the bite,
Mhm.
it is not a human bite. It is on his left upper buttock.
Oh,
And
wow.
it looks like pointy teeth have bitten him. I have found piles of feces in my rec room where the door is not opened, underneath the height of it that nothing could get under. You have to move the furniture.
Right.
I'm not kidding. But the scariest part is, okay, so I told you in that dream, I was given that name, and I was given the spelling. I was given the animal form. We have security cameras, and the security cameras have stopped working since this started. We can see what's going on in the monitor,
Mhm.
but they will no longer record. So what happens is, that's why some of the pictures I've taken, you'll see it's a bit fuzzy at the monitor. We've had the box in. We've had the guy come here. He can't find anything wrong with the box, so they won't replace it. So, like I said, we've had all kinds, like this is quite a story actually. I'm just touching on a few things here
Mhm.
because, like I said, this has been going on for almost 11 years. So,
Oh, wow.
like I said, when Dell was thrown 15 feet across the kitchen, and what happened was he was bending down to make a sandwich, and he was looking for some mustard. It was the middle of the night. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
He got thrown so violently, and when he stood up, he said when he cut his arm, because he showed me the cut, but when he stood up, the mustard was behind him on the counter. He never
Wow.
grabbed the mustard. He never saw it thrown. He didn't even tell me for the first couple days because he tested all the electrical, because he's still like that. He will debunk it 6 ways to Sunday
Right.
before he'll even consider something is paranormal. So I've been burnt. I have pictures of, and again, I'm going to be, I have a sense of humor about it, but this thing seems to like butts for some reason. I've been burnt right on my tailbone. It looks like somebody's taken a cigar. I've got pictures. I started taking pictures because there was no other way to prove this. So,
Man.
there's a female shapeshifter as well that takes my form. And she has, again, Dell, making a sandwich in the middle of the night. I was downstairs. He comes flying down the stairs. and says, "Did she just come upstairs and hit me really hard twice across the back?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" And I always tease him because he's been to way more concerts than I have, and he's got way better hearing. He can hear anything. I said, "You would have heard me come up the stairs. Second of all, I've never hit you in my life. Why would I do it now?" And I said, "Why are you asking?" He says he had his back, obviously, to whatever was behind him because he was using the counter. And something smacked him on his left shoulder super hard twice. Oh, he banged his head into the cupboard, actually. He got hit so hard.
Yeah.
He turned around, and it was the exact replica of me. Exact hair lace, clothing, everything. And actually, that just happened again on the security cameras less than a week ago.
I was watching.
There's 4 entities in this house that we're aware of.
So, can you tell me about that? The ballerina dance.
Yeah.
I was watching it, and I was like, the ballerina dance. That was.
The ballerina dance did not happen in the episode. I warned Rahkee about this. Okay, well, Rahkee, you know me a long time. I'm not a hyper type of person.
Yeah.
Laid back, chill. Okay, so what had happened was I wasn't sleeping. I hadn't slept for about 6 days. And we smoked. I was smoking downstairs. And what happened was there was a chair in there. And what had happened was Dell had put security cameras in there for a reason. There's a little bit of a backup story to this. I was sitting there one day, and this has affected us in every way. Financial, health, you name it, it's affected us. Even the neighbors have changed.
Right.
And they haven't moved. Just the way they are, it's a crazy story, like I said. Anyways, I was sitting there, and I felt a little bit sorry for myself. I don't usually, but it was pretty bad at this time, this couple of years back. And all of a sudden I started thinking about this book. I think my parents had bought me when I was a little girl, and it's called Footprints in the Sand. And I don't know why I thought of it. And I stood up, and I've got a bunch of my craft stuff in behind where my computers are. I don't know why I went to this box, and I started looking at some stuff there, I guess to distract myself. I pick up this coin, and I'm like, where the heck did this coin come from? I read it, Footprints in the Sand. I kid you not. So I stuck it on the water heater, which is about 18 to 20 feet away from the doorway. From the doorway, like out of the laundry room, rec room, where all this activity, laundry room, computer room. When you go out the doorway to our bedroom's about 5 feet away from that. Well, one day, I was bent down in the doorway, and I was petting my German Shepherd. Dell happened to be walking out of the bedroom. All of a sudden, the coin comes flying through the air, whooshes past my hair. It quite hit me, went right through my hair, and landed between the two of us. There was no way Dell had a reason for this. He had witnessed it with his own eyes, so that's why he put the security cameras in there. So that's the reason why I'm explaining why there's security cameras, why this so-called ballerina dance happened. It didn't. What happened was, like I said, I hadn't slept for 6 days. I'm sitting in this chair, and I'm having a smoke. And all of a sudden, Dell comes in, and he's yelling at me. He's going, "You need to get out of here, and you need to get out of here now."
Yeah.
And really speaking like he would never speak to me. And all of a sudden, I got so angry, like just inside. I wasn't screaming and yelling. I wasn't freaking out. Nothing. And I kept saying, "Don't talk to me like that." And he goes, "Laura, please just come out of the room." The minute I walked out of the room, wasn't angry anymore. And I said, "What's going on?" He goes, "Laura, that was the 3rd time I tried to get you out of that room." He goes, "I was watching you on the security camera. You were sitting there having a smoke. But while you were sitting there, it looked like your arms were being moved up and down like a marionette, like a puppet."
Yeah.
He said, "Then you were standing up, and you were talking to something in that corner, the most active corner, and you were laughing." He said, "And I tried 2 times before to get you out of the room. I couldn't get you out of there." I don't remember what happened. That's the only time that has ever happened to me. But it has also been one of the most scariest nights of our life. Because you've seen the part about why one of us stays awake all night long in the episode. That absolutely did happen. What had happened was we went to bed, and I'm still laying awake thinking, what the heck just happened? Like, I've never felt angry like that in my life. Like I said, I wasn't screaming, yelling.
So this is really the first time that... So this is really the first time
Pardon?
this is really the first time that this conflict where you felt like really upset.
Yeah, and I was weak. I was weak, obviously. I mean, 6 days without sleep. So I was laying in bed beside Dal. He'd fallen asleep. He was on his side, and I'm still awake thinking, what the heck just happened here? And all of a sudden, he starts convulsing, like he's having seizures. And I'm shaking the heck out of him, yelling at him, Dal, Dal. It was in his voice, but it was not his voice. It's going, I'm okay. I'm all right. I don't know how the heck I did it. I jumped out of that bed. I picked him up, and I started shaking him violently, trying to wake him up.
Right.
That's when he started to choke. And all this black, and as a nurse, I have seen many, many things, but I've never seen anything like this. It just kept coming and coming. He couldn't breathe. And I'm thinking, how the heck am I don't have my phone with me. I mean, I swear to God, if he had been in the merge, I would have been grabbing suction and suctioning him. I'm thinking, is he going to die? Like, what the heck? Like, what the heck?
And how, it looked like a lot. Did like, how much? What,
it was that much.
Black.
Like, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
When it was in I grabbed whatever there was, like a bowl or something. I think it was one of the dishes we'd eaten in front of the TV earlier that night or something. I seriously thought about taking a picture, and I wish I would have. Like, there was a lot. And it was that color that they showed on the episode.
That's horrible.
Ever since then, one of us stays awake all night long while the other three sleep, just to make sure everybody's safe.
So what has happened like since after, all that? How, like, is there still hauntings? Is it like less? Is it more, or?
It is less, and there's a reason why I believe, is because thank God that I've met so many people in the paranormal. It became like a full-time job trying to understand all this. The other thing I should mention as well that was covered in the episode, to explain a little bit about it, and I apologize, is they showed that burn mark that I got with the oven.
Yeah.
Yeah, my youngest son only eats chicken nuggets and fries, and my brand new oven, the element in the bottom doesn't work. They don't know why. They've tried replacing it. It still won't work, so I have to use the broiler. So I was taking his food out. It was in the middle of the day, and I had the oven door completely down. And I had to have it on the broiler, so the broiler's pretty hot to be able to cook his food.
Right.
The door swung shut on my arm. I thought maybe it was a dog. There was something. There was nobody around. There was no reason for this door to close on my arm. The other strange thing that happened was that it did not act like a regular burn. It hurt like heck. I have pictures of it developing. It didn't even turn red for about 12 hours, and then all of a sudden it started to turn black, like a brand, like how they used to brand cows and horses.
Right.
But the creepy part was, right around that time, somebody had asked me to look something up for them, and I did. And had to do with the demonic, and I found the name I had been given, the exact spelling, the animal form was a crow or a raven, everything I'd been told in that dream, never mind the fact that the outline of its symbol is the shape of what the burn was in my arm.
Was the shape the same as in the video?
No, I was mad about that because I keep getting people out messaging me trying to guess what the name.
That looked like a power off button on my
like.
laptop, so I was.
No, it didn't look like that. They left so much out of that story, and I ended up getting a lot of grief. Like, I even had people say to me, "Well, you're a psychic medium. You should know how to deal with this." And my analogy is, hey, you know what? You build houses for a living. Maybe you're an electrician. Maybe you're a carpenter. Does that mean that you can do the specialty things within a house to build an entire house? Not necessarily. So just because I'm a psychic medium and I work with the light, does it mean that I'm going to be able to get rid of what's going on in here? Believe me, if I could have got rid of it, it would have been gone a long time ago. So the activity is slowed down somewhat. The reason why is, and I don't know if this is going to sound crazy or not, but I finally made the decision to follow the path that I'm doing now, which is working as a psychic medium, working, as a teacher, mentor, teach people about positivity, light, love, things like that, and really working on raising energetic vibration. Just to me, having a science background, if something low vibrational, energetically wise, needs something else to match to be able to connect. So if our vibration is raised higher, we shouldn't be able to have as much effect. I don't know if it works or not, but it's worked for us so far. It's still here, though. What's here is still here.
No, it definitely sounds like it. And it sounds like it, like you said, it doesn't bother you as much. Out of everything that happened, out of all the events, which one do you feel was the most disturbing and the scariest?
When Dell almost died, when that happened, and he was choking, and he's explained it like he didn't know what happened. He just all of a sudden he said he was vomiting this black stuff, and he felt like something was breaking his whole chest and ribs, squeezing him. Because my biggest thing was at the time, and it's something you have to do, and Rahkee, I know you're in the same page, you can't have fear. And how do you not have fear in the beginning? When you can't see something, you're getting thrown 15 feet across the air.
Yeah.
You're getting bitten, you're getting scratched. But you know what? You've got to learn to overcome that fear. That's one of the biggest things as well. You cannot have fear. You have to have respect.
Right.
But,
No, I totally agree with that statement. I'm trying to, if there's anyone online that's watching on Facebook Live, if you guys have any questions for Lorelei, you could go ahead and shoot them out on Facebook. I am on Paranormal on Air. I do see questions that are not appearing on. It's weird. Like I see it like not appearing on different chats, but they're not all coming in on the one that I'm on right now. So maybe that's because
when
of the
I
comments.
use the live usually, Rahkee, I got like 2 or 3 devices going because they don't seem to show up on the same page always.
Well, Kim Russell had a question.
Oh, go ahead.
What causes the blank liquid that he was throwing up?
As it's been explained to us, and again, it made sense to me, either some type of ectoplasm, or we never spoke to the psychics that commented on our episode, and I didn't agree with everything they said, but I don't know if one of the psychics had surmised that maybe this darkest entity that we have here was trying to get control of Dell. And wasn't able to enter, was trying to do it while he was sleeping.
Yeah. That's like I've never really heard of I've heard of it, but I've never heard of anyone experience it until I was watching it.
One of the people I am so grateful for, and they were a lifesaver for me, and long before I did radio with them, was Jason Bland. I found him by accident.
Shout out to Jason Bland and Paranormal Soup. Great show. Great show.
He has had stuff happen, and it used to be the joke is Lorelei in the chat room. If anything went wrong, now again, could all of his equipment blown just when I called in by coincidence? Yes. But you can ask him. All his soundboards blew when I have called in. He has old video, because I used to call in every week, on his YouTube channel. You can see stuff in the background. You can hear stuff. He even used to have a skeptic on the board with him.
Right.
That there was some stuff that scared him.
Yeah. Yeah, today, like we had I'm having electrical problems on my side. Like my left side of my headphone is acting weird, and then I don't know, like maybe I'll listen back, and if I caught an EVP, I would be highly, wow, that would impress me. So how has it affected your life now? You're psychic medium, and what do you do to better like, do you do things to better the situation, or it just?
Absolutely. I teach about it. I teach about it all the time. I have a YouTube channel.
Mhm.
You've been so gracious to share this with our group, Paranormal University. I also have a group called the Angel Rocker Tribe. But what I do in this house, what I preach is what I practice. So I know ways to clear the energy. When I do my readings, I have a sacred space that nobody touches. I clear it with Palo Santo, with our holy water. I'm not a fan of sage because to me, from what I've learned with the teachers and mentors I've worked with, that tends to remove everything. There's been evidence of higher realm things going on too. I've brought some pictures of people I've taken when they've been talking to me, when I've been doing a reading. Excuse me, I've got a ceiling fan in the kitchen. And I can send you all these pictures, Rahkee, because I have pictures of them. And I didn't know they were taking the picture. But I was doing an angel reading for a friend. I had a new deck I was trying out. And she started snapping pictures. And the lights had shields on them at the time, like a shade. So the light beamed down towards the floor, not towards the ceiling. And you can see in my kitchen, it looks like the outline of an angel, all in light. So, like I said, I have no idea why this has happened. The only thing I can think, we've never played with Ouija boards. We're all baptized. We all believe in a higher power. Everybody in my house does have psychic gifts, though. Both of my boys do, as well as Dell. The only thing I can think, I worked in palliative care quite a bit, worked in critical care, been around death a lot. And particularly when I worked in the community, I worked in one of the lowest income parts of the city. There was a lot of murder, there was a lot of suicide, a lot of despair, depression, aggression, you name it, in the way of violence. And I was also there for people that passed away. So did maybe somebody have an attachment, and when they passed, it followed me home? I don't know. But that's the only thing I can surmise why something like this may have happened. Otherwise, I have no other idea. I've been told every reason under the sun, because believe me when I said to you this was a full-time job, in the beginning, it was 8 to 12 hours a day, talking to people all over the world, connecting, trying to find somebody that might be able to help us.
Man, that's, and then you were able to, find it.
I'd like
good.
it gone. What I've been able to do, I know where it is. And actually, it's really cool. We had a spookathon on the old radio station I was on, and it was Halloween weekend. And actually, Lorraine Fenton from MUFON joined our 3-hour, we were in the middle of the night on the weekend. She suggested somebody, but it's a good friend of mine, Augie Nost, and he had somebody by the name of Jennifer Fala, I think, or Fala is her last name, and he wanted me to call in and share her story. When I did, I knew this woman was the real deal, because she didn't ask me permission, and I was okay with it anyways, but she did remote viewing, and I knew she was in my back porch. I knew she was by the way she described it. There's no pictures of my porch online.
Yeah.
And then she started coming down the stairs, and she actually knew exactly where they were, and I know where it is. So I've been told it's an infestation. I don't know if it is or not. There's a shadow man. There is a female shapeshifter. I have a picture of, I believe, my kids have nicknamed it the Shy Guy. And if anybody that's ever played the first Super Mario games, there's a little creature that looks like the Grim Reaper, but he wears like a white hockey mask with black eyes. That's what he looks like. And then there's this thing.
That's,
so it usually
someone
appears
said there
as a
was,
black mist.
yeah, someone stated that there possibly could be four spirits. Do you feel there's more? So you said there's about probably 6, or?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm positive there's a couple portals open here. And the really funny thing is, for example, lots of times Bell doesn't even tell me, or I don't tell him unless it's something major. Like I said, when he came in here about 4 nights ago, and he could see on the security cameras, and I'm sitting at my computer, and I was talking to my son on the phone, and he came in here for a cigarette, and he goes, his mouth drops, and I stopped the conversation, and I said, what? He goes, did you not just leave this room like 2 minutes ago? Like you were literally walking all the way out where the security camera could see me, and out the door. And I said, Del, I haven't moved. I've been talking to my oldest son for like the last 10, 15 minutes. He goes, he asked me 4 times. I said, Del, I would know if I moved. I've been here. I said, what was I wearing? And I'm dressed all in black, but at the time I was wearing this really colorful hoodie. And he goes, you were wearing exactly what you're wearing, but you didn't have the hoodie on. So I still haven't explained why that happened. No idea.
How often?
These full moons are the worst.
How often do you see the crows or ravens or?
Oh God, we have a security camera at the front door, so it's kind of slowed down. But when it was at the peak of activity, every morning for some reason around 9:30 there would be a sole crow or raven, and it would climb up my outside front steps, hop up to the steel railing, and peer and cock its head. It literally looked like it was smiling, like you could see it close up into the monitor, because the monitors are in our bedrooms, so we can see them at all times what's going on. But the other thing that's super creepy, there are these 2 weird cats. From the time the snow melts until the time the snow flies. And every night about between 1 and 3 a.m., they show up, they follow the exact same path. We have like a cement path in front of my house, and then it kind of opens up a little bit as it goes up towards the stairs to the front door. They follow like right between the grass and the edge of the stone, and they stop on the last patio stone, and they stare up. You would not believe the creepy faces, and you haven't been able to catch it on camera. Yeah, I mean, Del's even run upstairs trying to catch them. He's been all over, and it's the same 2 kind of cats. One's kind of with these black paws, and the other one is got a bit of brown and black and white on it. So weird animal stuff. There's been other spirits we've seen on the outside. There's a little boy that we both, Del and I finished each other's sentence when I was starting to describe him. He goes, you mean, and then he described his hair that I'd seen. He's seen an old woman just on the outskirts of our yard, dressed in, what was she wearing, Del? He's in here, so.
Oh, hey,
the old lady.
I'm losing power on my light. This is the first time I've ever had something happen in the studio. We've always tried spirit communication, but it's a real interesting night for me.
Well, you know what? I don't have a problem like answering questions or anything, because as I've always said, if it's the truth, you got nothing to hide. The story is not going to change. It's the same. And like I said, the other interesting part is it's not just been my family that has experienced activity in my house. I have some video of people I have chatted with that are friends of mine over video. I have pictures of scratches they've got while they've talked to me. There's been horrible EVPs that have come through about what it's called me, what it said. Had other people had things happen. I've had a kid that came in our house, was one of my older son's friends, and didn't believe in any of this. And he loved my German Shepherd. And the guys were all going out, so I was talking to my son and the other guy that was there. They already had the shoes on, and this young gentleman was kind of close over to the couch. And we weren't paying any attention to him. We thought he was petting the dog. All of a sudden, he must have jumped about 3 feet in the air, and he goes, "What the F?" And he didn't say the F. And we looked at him. His face was white as a ghost. And we said, "What do you mean? Like, what happened?" He goes, "I thought it was the dog. The dog is nowhere around me. Something just grabbed my ankle." I've never been back to my house. My respite worker has experienced all kinds of activity here. She comes for my son, as well as, like I said, there have been other people online. You know Rhodey Speak, right? You know Rhodey, don't?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No? Okay, well, she's good friends with Katrina Cooper, who's a medium, and they're good friends with Jason.
I do know. Yeah, I know Katrina, yeah.
Okay. Well, Rhodey's talking on video. You can ask Rhodey what she's seen. Rhodey's experienced all kinds of stuff while she's talking to me. Lots of people have. So that's why I said I know we're not crazy. And when this first started, I knew enough that if we saw stuff or we experienced stuff, I have quite a few pictures and some video, some audio, because I knew I had to, because it's such a crazy story. I mean, look at all the years and experience of paranormal you've had, and we've never really talked in depth about what's been going on at my house before.
No.
And you're going, this is crazy.
Yeah, and I just barely, found out about it, yesterday. I was like, oh, I didn't know the whole story or, or anything. But it's truly, it's something to get past. I just want to reflect back on the dream real quick. How, like you said, it was so clear.
Yeah.
When you mean like a white, what the white pasty face, that was a part of it. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Or, what do you feel that the video described or made the individual look like how he
No,
looked
not
in the
even
video?
close.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
He looked like a man.
Okay.
He looked like a total man. Like there was, until you started, like I literally, because I do have that tree in my front yard. And when I was, like I would have been lower. So, automatically you look from down to up. And I did in the dream. And as I looked up, that's how I saw his face.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, the only thing I will share with you, because I don't repeat the name, not because of fear, I just don't choose to give that kind of energy to it.
Right.
He's supposed to be, if people believe this, I'm kind of on the fence one way or the other. He's supposed to be as old as the name he gave me, he is one of the first 40 that was created.
Oh.
Under Lucifer.
Okay.
Mhm.
I don't want to know.
Well, you know what? They lie too. They lie.
Yeah.
They lie. So,
yeah. That's, well, I've had dreams before, but it was something like I can still remember that. That's funny, but I never got offered. What do you want to call it? Like I'll give you the world. That's
mm-hmm.
Yeah. That wasn't offered. Where do you think, like, what do you think you would be doing if this whole situation hadn't happened? Where do you think you'd be in life?
what would I be doing?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be back in nursing.
Back in
nursing.
nursing.
You got to remember, like when I said things were low vibrational, I was in bed for almost 20 years with my back. I found a new doctor. Like that's when things kind of turned around for us about 3 years ago. I'm able to get up now. I'm able to move around. So there wasn't an element of depression, though my ex-husband, literally, when he moved out and he finally got help, he was diagnosed with severe clinical depression. So that doesn't add to it. My oldest son has some depression. So all of that lower vibrational energy.
Right.
So anyways, long story short, feeling like I do now, and especially with the internet, and let's face it, I've got a degree in nursing. I could be teaching online. I could be doing all kinds of things if this hadn't happened. So the way I do look at it, I think this is a really good question you asked. I look back at this, not with anger, not with sadness. Would I want to live it again? Absolutely not. But I know that it forced me to be what I'm doing now. And I'm so passionate about what I do now, and I love it, that I know I wouldn't be doing it without this experience.
No, it always, and it seems like you became more, stronger from the experience.
Absolutely.
So,
I am serious. The biggest thing, and it is the most hardest thing to overcome without being cocky, but not having fear. Having a belief in whatever your higher power is, even if somebody wants to believe in a teddy bear, or I don't care what it is, but having a belief, and I'm not making fun of people with religion or anything. I'm just saying to have that belief and to be able to focus on things like, filling the house with laughter, with joy, putting on funny music, favorite music, blasting through the house with tunes, like all kinds of
I
things
didn't even
like
get a
that.
chance to
Filling
ask
it
you
with
that. Were you a part of the church at the time, or were you ever a part of the religion? I just have to ask because it's just
You can ask.
um,
Okay. So, just so you know, both my boys were baptized. I've been baptized. Phil's actually been baptized 3 times. Came from a very religious family. I was raised Roman
what
Catholic,
Catholic? Okay, so that's what I was
but
asking.
I identify as being spiritual because I don't believe you need to go to a. That's just my belief. I don't
Right.
believe you need to go to a special building or anything else. If you know my higher power is God, I'll be honest.
So
So to me, I mean, I was always taught God is everywhere. So why do I have to go to a special building? It's supposed to be our Father. I
right.
mean, I can have a conversation with my Father anywhere. So why do I have to go to a special building?
No, my
Just
question
me.
so I was just wondering, with everything that was happening, with
Oh
the
no, I
situation it
don't.
being
Good
demonic, I
question.
was just wondering if the consideration of calling like a Catholic priest or any of that
The only
came as
reason
a.
I haven't, and you probably already know the answer,
No, I was talking about
is because
back in the day. Back in the day, that's why.
no, but the only reason I didn't was because you know as well as I do that it's not that simple to call a Catholic priest in here. Because
Hmm.
what we need in here is not just the house cleansing. And I did not feel right within my heart to call somebody of any religious order in here and not be honest with them about what they were walking into. Because a
Right.
lot of people said, well, just have them come and tell them it's a house blessing. If it could throw Dell 15 feet, who is over 6 feet tall and 175, 180 pounds,
Mm.
like a rag doll, I'm not going to do that to somebody else.
And the reason why I asked that question is because the safety and consideration for like if someone else ever had that idea to pop up in their head in case because people do that and it always sometimes it's not always the right answer. So
Yeah.
that's all I want to say.
I've had lots of people that have wanted to come here, and I know that their only intent in here is to create. They want to see something,
Right.
and I'm very careful. And I love people. I love having people over, but I've been very careful having the people I have had in my home, and I have been honest with them about what's been going on. Because I mean, my son has people coming in here with being autistic. We've developed enough of a relationship that I can trust. Never mind that they've experienced stuff themselves and didn't want to say it to me either, thinking I would think they were crazy.
Yeah. We're Lorelei, we're running. We're running out of time.
We didn't even get to Walmart stuff.
I know we didn't get to talk about the. Today I was in Walmart. I don't even want. It was horrible for me today in Walmart. It was. Oh my gosh, Walmart. It's.
Oh no.
It's people.
That's why they got a website.
They can't even give me
only
the
at Walmart.
stick. Can you just put the stick? And because I don't want to.
Yep.
I don't want to bend over you to get the stick. I want.
Yep.
If you could just give me that politeness, I'm happy. I'm a happy camper from there. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, would you like to tell us your links or where people could find you if they want more information, from you.
Sure, I really appreciate that. Thanks, Rahkee. You can find me on Facebook under the Angel Rock. My name is spelled quite weirdly, so it's easier to find me under the Angel Rock, my first name. It's Lorelei, but it's not spelled like Lorelei. As well as I have 2 groups on Facebook, like I mentioned earlier, called the Paranormal University. That's a place to come and find factual information as best as we can. We've got a lot of people that have got a lot of experience, a lot going on that they know what they're talking about when it comes to the paranormal. The Angel Rocker Tribe, I sometimes do free 1-question readings. I also do paid readings. I'm a Crystal Rahkee healing master as well. I will be certified in doing Akashic record readings very shortly as well too. So those are the best places you can find me, as well as I do have a YouTube channel also called The Angel Rock with Lorelei Potvin. So thanks, Rahkee, for having me.
No, thanks for coming on the show and telling us about your story. It's very wow. A lot.
Rahkee,
It's a
you're
lot.
gonna come visit. You're gonna
It's a
come
lot.
visit me. I have yet to have an objective paranormal team come in here, and that's all I've ever wanted. So that you guys can come in here, no expectations, and you guys see what you find.
No, and I'll take you up on that one day. So I definitely will.
I would love it.
Well, thanks for being on the show. Also, anyone who's watching on Facebook, Facebook Live, you could also. Oh, almost forgot. Las Vegas Oddities. Mention my name, Rahkee, and they'll hook you up. Also, you could go to worldghost.com and Rahkee.com. That's Rahkee. And we will see you on the next one. Happy hauntings, everyone. Take care.